Hi there, thank you for joining 30 minutes yoga stretches and mobility moves. Hope you're well. We're going to do about 10 moves. Some of the moves actually lead into other moves, kind of dynamic to help build a bit of circulation and strength and loosening off, flexibility. So we're going to start today in butterfly, so if you've got a block or a cushion, and also for some of the stretches later if you've got a belt, or today I've got a scarf. So we're going to start in butterfly, so it's quite nice to elevate the hips sitting on your block. So we bring the soles of the feet together and we can hold on to our feet. We can bring our hands just underneath the feet and we can try to draw the chest forward and the knees down. So a great stretch for the adductor muscles, the inner thigh area. Also, you might feel a stretch in your back, you might feel a stretch in your hamstrings or your glutes. So this one is great to do to prevent sciatica, prevent back pain, prevent hip issues, knee pain. Okay, so butterfly is one of the kind of basic stretches. So we can sit up taller, thinking about the posture. We can lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and then we can see if we can come a bit more forward, or we can stay with the more emphasis on good posture. It's up to you. So we can also butterfly the knees up and down. So if we want to maybe add another stretch, we could take hold of the right foot or the right toes or the right ankle, it's up to you. Keep holding on to your left ankle with the left hand, and then we can stretch out that right leg along the floor, or we can lift the right leg up. So it's more intense here on the hamstring and the calf. We want to still stay sat up tall then. So we can maybe do 1, back, keep sitting up tall, chest forward, 2, whoops, and 3. And then hold, trying to push your heel away, toes towards the face. Try not to let the back to round. Maybe hold for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So that's imagining that the butterfly is opening the wings. And bring the right foot back down. Then we could just sit up tall again, bring that chest through, and then we could try with the opposite side. So still just holding on to your right ankle and then stretching out the left leg. So notice where you feel the stretch as you stretch out. 1, 2, and 3, and then hold for a couple of deep breaths in and out. So you can hold on to the inner edge of your ankle or the outer edge of the ankle, it's up to you. Nice. Chest forward, deep breath in and deep breath out, and then bring the feet back together, butterfly the knees up and down a bit again. And then we can try just walking the hands a bit more forward. We can walk the feet away, and that will help us to fold over a bit more. And maybe this stretch will go now to, you might notice the stretch has gone from your adductors, maybe into the back or into the hamstrings. Okay, and then lift back up slowly. So there's always various ways to do these stretches. So now stretch out both legs, shake out the legs. So next we've got another stretch that this time, so we've been stretching out the back of the body and the inner thigh. This time we're stretching open the front of the body in Sphinx. So we come to lie on our fronts, on our mats, and the elbows usually just come underneath the shoulders, and we should feel a stretch in maybe the thighs or the quads, the hip flexors maybe, the abdominals and the chest. So Sphinx can be quite gentle, it can be quite intense on the lower back area. So that's what we need to be careful of, just check in with the lower back. So then there's a couple of options from the Sphinx. So stay in Sphinx if that's enough, or we can come into half bow. So half bow, your left forearm is in line with the front of your mat. We lift up the right leg. So again, that might be enough. Now we should feel a stretch in the right quad, the right hip flexor. We can reach behind to take hold of the right ankle. We don't want to lean over to the left here. We want to make sure both our hips or our quads are pressing into the mat. And if we can, press into your left elbow to make sure we're lifting the chest forward, we're looking forward, or we can bring chin to the chest, and here we can feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck. And slowly release that right ankle to the floor, then change sides. So now your right elbow's into the mat, right forearm is in line with the front of the mat, lifting up the left leg. So again, that might be enough just to lift up the leg. If you want to, you can reach behind to take hold of your left ankle, but still trying to make sure the left hip's not coming off the floor, because that's cheating, that's skirting around the stretch. And just see if you can stretch the front of the body, kind of stretch your chest forward. So we're stretching open the abdominals. And then slowly lower back down. And then from here we could go into Sphinx meets half frog. So this is more a stretch for our glutes and our hips. So pressing the elbows into the floor, we're drawing the right knee up towards the right elbow. You should feel it in your lower back. And here you can have the toes pointed or the toes flexed. You can take the feet away a bit, or just have the foot so it's in line with your right knee. So about 3 or 4 deep breaths here. And slowly bringing the right leg down, and then change sides. So left knee comes up towards the left elbow. Try to keep pressing into your elbows. Drawing the left knee back down. So we need to come out of this back bend. We've been extending the back, not flexing it. So it might feel a little bit fragile in your lower back, so we need to come out slowly. So I think the best way is to press it into the elbows, lift the hips off first, keep it nice and slow, and then come to tabletop. So from the tabletop, going to do kind of first down dog to see where we can feel a stretch. So turning our toes under, we're lifting the knees off the mat first, then the chest through to the thighs,
Then slowly lift the hips to the ceiling, trying to keep your chest as close as you can towards your thighs. So this helps us to stretch our shoulders, our chest, our hamstrings, our calves. So if you want a deeper stretch in the calf, we can do pedaling or walking the dog. So we're pedaling the heels up and down, maybe holding for a breath in and a breath out, and then change sides, breath in, breath out. One more each side. Keeping that chest as close as you can towards the thighs to get the maximum benefits of the down dog stretch. And then another option from here is bending your right knee, pressing the left heel into the floor, and then straightening the right leg as you lift it up into the air. Hold for about 3 breaths, drawing the chest through to the thighs. Nice, effective stretch for the left calf, left hamstring. And then bring the right foot to the floor, bend the left knee, press the right heel into the floor, and then lifting that left heel up towards the ceiling. 3 breaths, keeping the left leg as straight as possible, drawing the chest through to the thighs. Slowly lowering the left leg and bringing both knees to the mat. So from here we go into child pose. So we're taking the knees about as wide apart as the mat, and we're bringing the bottom to the heels. You can rest your bottom maybe on a block or a cushion or a blanket. Really try to extend the fingertips forward as far as you can. Again, it's a stretch for our shoulders and our chest. And then we can add a twist. So here, thread your left hand underneath your right elbow, and then bring your left shoulder and your left ear down to the floor. So opening the shoulders, hips, lower back. And press it into the right hand to lift up. Stretch both fingers forwards again. Always try to keep your hands slightly wider than shoulder width when you're in child pose and down dog, just to protect the shoulders. And then we're threading the right hand with the palm facing up all the way as far as you can to the left, bringing the right shoulder to the floor and the right ear to the floor. Press it into the left hand again, lift up, back to tabletop. Okay, so stretch number 5 is the lunge, again with a few variations. So going to step our right foot in between the hands, and here we're just trying to bring one hand at a time onto the right thigh. Just check that your right ankle is underneath your right knee and drawing the chest forward. So 3 more breaths. Trying to draw your chest forward, shoulders back and chin parallel to the floor. And then from here we come into revolved lunge. So we're taking our left shoulder as much as we can over the right thigh and bringing the palms together and looking over the right elbow or the right shoulder,
3 more breaths. And slowly bring the hands either side of the right foot again, and then one more from this lunge position. So here we're turning the left toes under, so that we're drawing our left kneecap up, and we're trying to keep our left leg as straight as possible. Pressing the left hand into the floor just underneath your left shoulder, stretching the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. You can look up to the fingertips, or you can just look towards your right. 3 breaths again. And bring the right hand outside the right foot, left knee back to the floor, and then drawing the right knee back, so we're back in tabletop. Now stepping the left foot forward into our lunge on the left side, so trying to draw our chest forward. Again, we can bring one hand at a time onto the left thigh. And then coming into the revolved lunge, so we're trying to draw our right shoulder as much as we can all the way over to the left, over our left thigh. And palms together, either just looking at your palms together or looking back over your left shoulder. 3 or 4 breaths. Slowly releasing hands either side of the left foot, keeping your right hand underneath your right shoulder, turning the right toes under, lifting the right leg off the floor, and then coming into the lunge and twist, so lifting the left fingertips up towards the ceiling, palm facing away, keeping the right leg as straight as possible. 3 breaths. Slowly lowering the left hand and right knee to the floor, and left knee back. Okay, just relaxing in child pose for a few breaths. This time the child pose, knees just slightly apart, and we're bringing the backs of the hands by the feet, and resting your forehead on a block or the mat. And then lifting up slowly, and from here we're coming to lie on our backs for our hamstring stretches. So this is where you need a belt. So a couple of options. First of all, we want to make sure that our back stays on the floor, the glutes stay on the floor. When we do this hamstring stretch, we don't want to let the bottom or the lower back, the sacrum and the tailbone come off the mat. So with your belt or your scarf, you can either have the left leg bent with the left leg flat on the floor, or the left leg out straight. We're taking the belt around the sole of the right foot. We're just holding the belt softly so we can feel the stretch in the hamstring. So we're not gripping onto the belt, our throat and our jaw is relaxed. We're keeping that heel in both legs, if the leg's out straight, keeping the heel pushed away. We can just hold on to the belt with one hand, with the right hand,
Or we can even not use the belt and try and reach the toes. But if you're not that flexible, you can take the hands behind the right thigh or behind the right calf. Or you've got your belt, it's up to you. So about 3 more breaths. We're just going to take that right leg over to the left, holding onto the belt with the left hand and taking the right hand out to the side. Just feeling the stretch more now on the outside of the right leg, your ITB, iliotibial band. And then slowly back to the centre, then hold the belt with the right hand, left hand out to the side as we take the right leg out to the right. Trying to keep your legs as straight as possible. Remember, you can have that left leg bent up if you like. And back to the centre. Just see if you've gained any flexibility with this hand to big toe. See if the fingers will come closer to the big toe. Maybe not. Okay, and then slowly lowering the right leg to the floor. And here, just as you take the feet slightly apart and the toes apart, just notice the difference between the right leg and the left leg. And then changing sides. So first of all, taking the belt around the sole of the left foot, holding on to your belt. You can walk the hands up the belt if you like, remembering to keep the bottom down on the floor, so you might need to move the leg away. We can have the right foot pressing into the floor, or we can extend the right heel away. Keep your chin towards your chest, maybe resting the head here on the back of a block. And we're taking hold of the belt with the right hand, left hand out to the side, and then slowly drawing the left leg over to the right. Keep that heel pushing away, maybe drawing the left leg up towards the face a little. And back to the centre and over to the left. So taking hold of the belt with the left hand, right hand out to the side, left leg out to the left. And back to the centre, pushing that left heel away, toes towards the face. See if we can draw that left leg closer. See if we can reach up, hands further towards the feet. Okay, and then slowly lower, stretching out the left leg, both feet, both small toes fall out to the side. And now notice the difference between the left leg and the right leg. the feet together. Stretch the arms above the head as you breathe in. Breathe out, bring the arms down and bring the knees into the chest. Just hugging the knees into the chest. So now another stretch for our inner thigh. This is reclining cross legs or crossed ankles. So just going to cross the right ankle over the left and then bring the feet to the floor and then bring the knees down as low as we can. And also see if you can walk the heels away from each other. So we're not crossing the ankles, we're more crossing our shins. And then for a stretch for the shoulders and the back, take hold of opposite elbow and bring the arms over the head. Bring the arms back down, draw the knees together, knees into the chest, and then left ankle over right. Bring the feet to the floor first, and then knees out, and again walk the heels away. If you like, you can stretch the arms over the head again, taking hold of opposite elbow. Slowly lifting the knees and crossing the ankles, knees into the chest. And we've got time for the last stretch, which is legs up the wall. So this is called a great rejuvenator. So to get your legs up the wall, some people might want to roll your mat up. Say it a couple of times, just to give the back a little bit more support, especially if your floor's quite hard. So you take the rolled up mat or blanket next to the wall, and then hips are next to the wall. We lie down and take the legs up the wall. Try again not to let your bottom lift off the floor. Try to have your chin towards your chest so you can have a block to rest your head on if you need to. So with legs up the wall, there's a few different moves you can do with your legs. You can just have your heels away, toes towards the face with the legs straight, or you can have butterfly feet, so the soles of the feet are together, or you can have the legs wide apart in what we call dragonfly or straddle. Or you can have reclining swan. So reclining swan, you would have the right leg straight and the left ankle over the right thigh, and then you walk your right foot down the wall. Try and keep your left knee away. So quite a nice intense stretch for your left hip and left glute. So whichever stretch you've chosen, could spend another minute or so. Really, we could do with spending like 10 minutes every day with legs up the wall in all the various options. So if you're doing the reclining swan, stretch out both legs up the wall and then bring your right ankle over your left thigh, push the right knee away and then walk the left foot down the wall. Try to keep your bottom on the floor. If your hips or your hamstrings are tight, your bottom will want to come off the floor. So whichever move you've chosen, about another 4 or 5 nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. Slowly releasing both legs up the wall, and then knees in towards the chest, hooking the knees in, knees side to side. Take the knees down to one side slowly, and then come up to seated. Okay, thank you. That's it for today. So it's great for before a run or after a run, or if you've been sat at your desk a lot, or swimming or cycling, driving. Okay, thank you, and see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye for now.